Guatemala is one of the most underrated vacation destinations. Why? It's relatively close to the US, affordable, and has tons of things to do. So I'm counting down the top 8 spots that you need to visit if you go to Guatemala. Let's go. Coming in at number 8 is Casa Santo Domingo. This is one of the nicest hotels in Antigua. And even if you can't get a room here, you should still come to check it out. The gardens are massive and you could just get lost here for hours. Look at this chapel. You could get married here if you wanted to. We came in the morning when there weren't a lot of people walking around and found it just so peaceful. The hotel doubles as a museum in a way, with all the different archaeology and ruins. It's so cool that it might just even kill you. The rooms are super charming, and make sure to check out the breakfast bar for one of the best buffets in the city. Coming in at number 7 is the Antigua food scene. You may know Antigua for its street food, but if you're like me, you love to eat out at restaurants. Antigua is a vegan and vegetarian heaven. This vegetarian lasagna was one of the best. Once Once is great for vegans. The vibes are immaculate, and these cauliflower tacos were great. One of my favorite places was Caoba Farms, a true farm-to-table restaurant. We started off with a tour of the farms and all the different herbs and flowers that they were growing. Make sure to check out their butterfly garden. And of course, their farm-to-table cuisine. I got a little carried away at the trampoline afterwards. And if you like to eat, chances are you like to drink too, and there's no better place to do it than Antigua Cerveza. This is one of the largest beer gardens I've ever seen. Pro tip, come here right before sunset. You can see the place at day and also how it lights up at night with all of the lights. If you want a more intimate experience, go to Ulu Cocktail Bar. This speakeasy is accessible through a red phone booth. Once you get inside, you'll be greeted by various waiters who ask you not what drink you want, but what flavor profiles you like. The bartender will then craft a custom cocktail. Hobbitown was one of the most unique things we did. An hour outside of Antigua, this is a place created mostly for tourists, and I recommend getting there with a tour company. The roads are fairly dangerous, and if you haven't driven there before, it's best to go with an organized tour. This hand was a main reason we went, and while the line for the hand was fairly long, we're certainly glad we got a picture with it. There are a lot of other things to do besides the hand: games, swings, archery.
Nice, there you go.
Overall, a really cool experience that you should do if you have the time. Then it was off to Lake Atitlan, and San Pedro was one of our first stops. San Pedro is a large city around the lake, known for its vibrant colors and backpacker vibes. And of course, the great views. I'd recommend going to Los Thermales, hot thermal baths. Okay, there was one cold bath. Get there early so that you can have the place to yourself. Next up is San Marcos, the hippie town of Lake Atitlan. We stayed at Lush, which lived up to its name with all the greenery. I mean, look at this view from our treehouse. The hotel had a very cute sauna on premises as well as musical events. You'll no doubt encounter the hippie highway over your time in San Marcos, the main drag surrounded by shops. For good coffee, go to Circles for its immaculate vibes and pastries. Coming in at number 2 is Eagle's Nest, a yogi's heaven on top of the San Marcos Mountains. To get to Eagle's Nest, take a tuk-tuk, which is kind of like a golf cart. The tuk-tuk will help you climb the steep hills. It takes about 10 minutes, and the price is fairly negotiable. Once you get there, you'll realize why people come here for months on end. Now, I'm not a yogi by any means, but even I could understand that this place was special. Definitely don't miss out on the food. The food is so fresh, and it's hard not to be happy looking at those views. If If I had this outdoor shower, I would never leave. And coming in at the number one spot is Acatenango, a 2-day hike up Guatemala's active volcanoes. The day started at Huicho and Charlie's with beet juice shots, and 30 of our now closest friends who were hiking up with us. I'm not gonna lie, this was one of the hardest things we've ever done, and there were many times throughout where we didn't know if we would make it. But once we got there, we knew we made the right decision. After a quick nap at the top of the mountain, we woke up to this. The sun setting in the background with lava erupting from fuego. This experience was unlike anything I've ever done or seen in my life.